We have got some very exciting news in the electric community. We partnered up with Jordan River OHV here in Salt Lake City, Utah, which some of you may know as our headquarters. We're about 5 minutes away from where I'm currently standing. This is a brand new track specifically designed for the electric bikes behind me. So whether you're on a Surron, Talaria, E-Ride, you know, there's a multitude of electric bikes out there. You finally have a home here in Salt Lake City, Utah to come and do some riding. All right, a lot of you guys that are new to the Surron community have possibly never ridden on a motocross track or in an environment like this. So I'm gonna go over a couple of things to make sure that ultimately you're safe out here. So to start, what you're gonna need, because this is a state-owned park, you're gonna need an OHV tag showing that your bike is registered. Best that you don't get your bike impounded while you're here. Utah state law has been changing to make it easier and easier to register bikes. Beyond that, let's get into the gear. So you're gonna need some boots, a helmet, goggles, and gloves. This is the bare minimum requirement to be able to ride on a track like this. However, I look a little bit like a goober, so that's a little bit better. I feel like a little bit less of a goober, but anyway, it's good to have protective equipment on courses like this just because, I mean, man, I can't tell you the amount of times I've blown out my ankles even in boots. So it makes a huge difference to be out here fully geared up. Mainly, the biggest thing is an appropriate riding shoe. I know that you guys don't want to wear full-size motocross boots. There are a lot of awesome shorty boots on the market that are just great and way more protective than like your Vans tennis shoes that you typically get while riding these bikes. So the bike that this track was designed for is to push the limits of the stock Litebee X. This bike is pushing 6 kilowatts. I did do suspension and wheels to it, but this is the bike that I'm going to show you going around this track today. I do highly recommend doing suspension and getting better tires for this type of terrain. Just makes you a little bit faster and makes you much more comfortable when it comes to situations of hitting jumps and, you know, everything that a track may have to offer. But like I said, this track was designed to push the limits of this bike. It is also designed to cater towards a modified bike, which is super cool. My bike right now is set up to do something pretty special that we'll show in a later video, but sometime here in the future I will show you what this track rides like on a modified bike. So the biggest bike that you can ride on this track is the mid-size category. The Surron Ultra B is the perfect example of that. It's not a full-size dirt bike. Those belong on the main track, so your Stark Varg and bikes along those lines, they belong on the main track. This track is going to allow a maximum size of a bike like this. So other bikes, for example, the Dust Moto that'll be coming out here in the future, just similar bikes to that range can ride on this track. I haven't made it clear yet, but pit bikes are definitely welcome out here. This track was designed for just that size of bike in general, whether it's gas or electric. We just happen to cater it towards the electric a little bit more, but pit bikes are gonna have a blast out here. So anyway, you're welcome to come out. The entry fee right now is $20. There might be certain memberships that you can get for the year of riding. We're still in development of that program, but all sorts of cool events are going to be held out here at this track, and I know I'm boring you with talking before even seeing the track, so let's go ahead and get into showing you what this is actually like. Alright guys, I'm going to take you for a couple of laps on this track. It's important to note a few things. One, this is not a prepped day, so it's very dry. And another thing to note is that this track is going to be groomed on the basis of, like, you know, riders showing up. So the more money that you guys put into it, the better the track's going to get over time. You know, this is an area of land that was not previously used. So it's got rocks in it and everything like that, but when the dirt's wet, it's actually really good, and as time goes on, the track's only going to get better and better. So anyway, let's get started on some laps. So it's pretty sweet to come around and be pretty much stretching the capabilities of a stock bike over most of these jumps. Like, I'm pretty much locked throttle over everything right now. Something I'm really excited about is being able to really give you guys lap time comparisons between all sorts of different bikes on the market. So I'll try to get a good lap time out of this bike, and I'll try to get a good lap time out of an Ultra Beast. And in that lap time counter, we'll have to emphasize what kind of a day it was. Like, you know, was it a dry day that was unprepped? Was it a prep day? So on and so forth. It is super exciting to be able to come out here on different bikes and show you guys different lap times and ultimately how the bikes do kind of head to head. Obviously this is a mid-size bike, the Surron Ultra B. It's in a completely different class category than the Surron Light E is, but it's always good to get lap times and leaderboards, and that's the bike that can be ridden on this track, so it's good for you guys to kind of see what it can do. Let's get started. Well guys, thanks for coming along on a super fun track session with me. Obviously it was very dry out here today. It's not going to be like that on days that it's opened. It gets prepped beforehand. The track will be nice and ready for you guys to ride. The more bikes that get out here, the better and better the track's going to get. It just needs to get ridden. And you know, obviously your guys' feedback is very important to us. So we want to build the track that you guys enjoy. So far, I think this is an awesome start to a track that has just been laid into a new area. So yeah, please comment, let us know what you think about the track, and ultimately we hope to see you here.